Thank you, Dr. Purander, for joining me today. And we're going to get right into the interview itself. So, to start off, you've mentioned that addressing the issue of climate change and decarbonization is less of a moral cause and more of a business decision. Very interesting. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
Thank you so much, Natalie, and thank you so much, the Asian Downstream Insights, for giving this opportunity. First of all, I would like to thank both of you and the organizers for that. It's indeed a privilege. I would, look at it this way, that we are talking today. And the point that you raised is something that is really, really very interesting, because what happens is and this is a gap that, as a practitioner in this domain, I get to see. When it comes to climate change, we relate it to a kind of a moral responsibility that the human beings have to, address to it, and that way. I would, look at it in a very different manner. And I have a reason for that, or multiple reasons for that. The first and the foremost reason is, if you are sitting in front of your laptop, or anybody who is hearing this interview, please type on the internet McKinsey's GHG cost curves. This is McKinsey's greenhouse gas cost curves. You will get a very interesting analysis, a chart, and that chart indicates the abatement potential of various kinds of initiatives that you can take. And you can see that huge, in terms of hundreds or probably thousands of initiatives are listed out, which actually give you more profit than cost you anything to initiate those initiatives. And those are the ones. My point comes today is that when we are talking about the climate change initiatives, have we exhausted all those initiatives? We haven't. So if we have not exhausted those initiatives, and the point comes is that the moment we start doing many of these, what would happen is that business case in turn takes us to a different level. And many of the other possible interventions which are today being looked at as something that they are not the business case, they fall under the category of being a business case. So therefore, instead of worrying about the moral side of it, if you really look at the business side of it, slice it out from a technical perspective, you can actually see the light of the day that everything is possible. And they are business case, they are meaningful, they are viable solutions. So if they are viable solutions, what stops us from adopting that? And that is my point primarily comes from. We have what is called huge talk about the carbon capture. We also talk about similar kind of mitigation mechanisms. But let us understand, carbon capture at this point in time is not really a viable solution. It is different that it is a very good solution. I am not disputing that fact. But considering it as a business case is difficult. So it should be considered as something when we have exhausted everything else. Now, everything else not being exhausted, that is the opportunity. The next point, if you really wish to go for net zero ambitions, if you really wish to reduce your emissions, there are very good tools today available in the technology domain or in the science domain. The tools like Science-Based Technology Initiative, RE100 initiative, internal price on carbon. These are typical methodologies, mechanisms with which one can address climate change while making that as a business case. So let us do that first, because in that case, what happens inherently for any business is that the moment the business realizes something is doable, the business can do that very fast. The moment it is something which is a moral responsibility for the business, it is not that the business won't do it. And I think every large organization is very, very proactive in that direction as well.
Right. Very interesting answer. So to move on, so we know that sustainability is likely to be an integral part of business models moving forward, especially given what you've just explained. So where should businesses focus to make this sustainability happen?
again, something really interesting. I mean, I'm pretty sure that there will be a lot of experts, sharing different views. The way I have at least found in my experience and my own career is that when you start doing business, connecting it with something which is now coined as ESG, environment and social governance, lot of these kind of queries automatically get sorted out. Because when you follow the metrics of environment and social governance to do your own business, whichever may be the business you are in, it doesn't matter whether you are in oil and gas or whether you are in a transportation business or maybe in the supply chain. But if you follow the environment and social governance metrics and try and map your organization on those metrics, you start realizing that the sustainability focus is automatically getting built in. And sustainability focus again is not this, that we need to do sustainability because we are doing business. We are doing business, certainly, and the business is meant for the business purpose, and sustainability gets taken care of in the right way. For example, I'll just give you a couple of examples. What is the future of, let's say, oil? Of course, this is not the pointed answer for the query that you raised, but the future of oil, if we are seeing, oil essentially gives us the energy and oil essentially gives us the transportation fuel. So with all the negative impacts that the oil is creating, if we think of doing petrochemicals, which is a very natural way of looking as the further expansion of oil and gas business, this is good. It has a demand. Everything is fine from the business perspective. But petrochemical also leads to creating the majority of the product, which is environmentally very difficult to degrade. So as a result of that, when you have to get into petrochemical, it is wonderful if you start looking at the recycling part also. And interestingly, today there are technologies which can help you not only recycle the waste, petrochemical waste, but it can also become the feedstock for your own petrochemical process that you are trying to have. And the paybacks are fantastic. They are in terms of months and in terms of weeks to some technologies that I have come across. I'm not, obviously talking about the name of the company, but I'll be extremely happy if somebody would like to connect and would like to know what these technologies are. So the point is, technologies are existing. Our business is happening. We are aware of the challenges that we need to face. There are roadmaps, pathways to do that. It is only a question of adopting those pathways.